Welcome to Who's a Good Human. On today's program, you're going to meet a young man who I have worked with I was his lecturer and he was my student. I'm so excited for Mac and Leroy to join me today. I first have to ask you, Leroy, out of all the dogs in the world, why did you choose a Pomeranian?
It wasn't me that chose a Pomeranian at the time. It was around COVID, and believe it or not, it was Mum and her partner had discovered Mac through a shelter, and Mum got Mac because at that time during COVID, she was feeling depressed, and she wanted something to bring her happy. And the way that Mac came about was something that brought her a lot of joy. Seeing this little ball of fluff grow up to be a very energetic little pom.
So Mac was originally meant for your mum?
Yes. I've just taken ownership of him now. So
how did that happen? So if your mum saw, first off, let me go back a bit. First off, your mum saw Mac at the shelter and a tiny little ball of fluff. And it was during COVID days. And we all know with COVID days, it wasn't very pleasant in some places in Australia. It was lockdowns. Was it your mum that decided to get Mac and pick up Mac? Or was it you that maybe saw a picture of Mac and went, yep, we need to get that dog?
So it was Mum that got Mac at the time. I was living in Cairns, so in far north Queensland. She was still living in Brisbane. So it was kind of hard to travel around during that time period. So when Mum tells me that she got a Pomeranian, and immediately I thought of the movie Big Lebowski, where the line he says is, you bought a Pomeranian bowling, and that's what popped into my head. And so I didn't know what Mac looked like at first. Like, I never got to see him when he was in his ugly duckling phase, when he was just full grey hair. And when Mum pulled up to Cairns, she had the road trip up to Cairns from Brisbane, which was almost about a day. I heard the car pull up, and then I heard this little bark, just barking. I walked out. I knew Mum was coming, and I was like, did she bring the Pomeranian? And then I just seen little Mac run straight up to me like he knew me. And at that moment, I just fell in love with him instantly. Like, I just loved his little personality, and I just wanted him to pull to myself, sort of thing.
And how did you break the news to your mum that it was love at first sight for Mac, and that basically Mac wasn't going to be her dog anymore?
Basically, when I moved back down to Brisbane with her, I said, no, he's staying with me. So I end up claiming ownership of Mac, but Mac still doesn't. Mac would rather hang out with his mother than he would with me, but I still make him come to me anyway. So I still force him to stay with me if he's been a little naughty, and got to put him in air jail when he's barking at random strangers and other dogs. So he doesn't.
Okay, I've heard this term air jail before, because you brought the term to life when we were working together in Sydney. You better describe, what is air jail?
So air jail is basically, I found out about this term on Instagram, and it's basically when your dog is being a bit naughty, you basically carrying them, especially if they're a small dog, so they stop barking or being not vicious, but like towards other people and other dogs, or don't go running off to bigger dogs and try to threaten them. And as you can see, Mac, he doesn't care that no matter how big a dog is, he'll still threaten them with his tiny little bark. So carrying him in air jail, it stops, but he'll still have his occasional like buffs when he like barking under his breath. And you tell him to stop, but he doesn't stop, and he keeps going.
I love it. Leroy, tell me, what is Mac like as a dog?
I see Mac as like, it's weird because I see him as like my own child, to be honest. Like, that's the way I see Mac. But I also see him, especially with my sisters, we all see Mac as a little brother, because Mum forces it on us that is our brother. That Mac is our little baby brother. At the same time, I also see him as more than just a dog. I see him as more as like a companion and a friend. And when I feel down and sad and depressed about stuff, I'll have Mac there to comfort me. So I see him more than just a pet. I see him as more as a lovable human companion, you know?
How long did it take for the bond between you and Mac to develop once you moved down from Cairns to Brisbane and you were staying with your mum?
Instantly. Like, just bonded instantly. Like, he would often come to me whenever mum goes out to go shopping or whatnot. Mac will always come to me and look for support because he doesn't like it when mum goes away from him. He thinks he's been abandoned, but he's not. So he has his little issues, but he knows that he can come to me or he can come to my sisters, and he'll just lay there with us, and he'll feel safe with us.
Yeah, safety is a really important thing for animals, that's for sure. Leroy, with Mac and your relationship with him, how much of a difference has he made to you? Because you said that he was there when you were feeling not so great and down at times. How has he helped you through those times when things have been a bit rough?
He's basically brought me back down to earth, like when I've been feeling down with stuff. Like it's like when you're back to your days as a child, you have your little comfort toys, you know, like your big plush. Well, when I was younger, I had a big plush Pikachu toy from Pokemon that I still have to this very day. Um, I always had that as a comfort. So having Mag is kind of that feeling as well as a comfort when you're feeling a bit down, and that, you know, you'd want something like Mac, to hug and love, to get rid of that ugly negative feelings and sadness out of you, when, you know, you can feel like the happiness that Mac brings out to you.
Now, Mac, where does the name come from?
Max is short for Mackenzie, and Mackenzie was named after the character from Home and Away, one of the actresses. So I didn't name him that. It was Mum's partner that named him Mackenzie, but his full name is Mackenzie Eli Caramy. So he has a full name.
I love it. And because Mac is such a beautiful little Pomeranian, and I know that you have given Mac a couple of outfits in the past, does Mac get a lot of attention when you're out and about?
He gets a lot of attention and he loves it. Last night, me and my sister went to go pick up dinner. We went to Hungry Jack's, and the one that was serving us in the drive-thru, she just seen, oh my God, it's a Pomeranian, and then tells her friends about it. So no matter where he goes, he's always going to get attentions. Even when you take him out for a walk, people will often stop by and admire him and just want to pet him. And Mac is very friendly. He will be happy to greet someone else that's coming up to pat him. He's just a bit unsure about kids half the time, but he gets along with kids.
Yeah. What's he like in terms of him taking notice of you and following your instructions? Is he pretty good on that score?
He can be a bit blocked. He won't listen to me half the time. Like when you tell him to come back here, he doesn't come back here, but he runs away instead. My favorite interaction with Mac is when it comes to bathing him, especially if he's got a bit of a dirty backside.
Okay, tell us about that, because Pomeranian grooming is something that I've never had to deal with in my life.
It can be an experience, I can tell you that. Like Mac is due for a grooming session, like from the pet shop and that we usually take him. But when it comes to home grooming, like I usually brush him, and I love, like, you wouldn't think it, but I do love to brush Mac. Like, it's like when you're playing with the Barbie dolls and you're brushing the hairs. It's like basically doing it with Mac. But when it comes to the bathing side, that's probably the most fun I can usually have with him, because I tell him, come on, bath, like hold the towel up, and he looks at me and he runs away. And then I just keep telling him, like, come on now, time for bath. And he'll bark at me. He'll start growling, like, as a way that he doesn't want to get bathed, even though he's got a dirty backside. And when I was at my old place, when we had a shower, I would sit in the shower with him and bath him that way.
Yeah.
But I'll sit in the shower and I'll make him come to me. I don't try to force him to come to me. I'll make him come to me. I'm like, come on now, come in the shower. And he will slowly walk to me. And then he will just sit in one spot. He'll raise his little paw up like that as a way of saying, no, he doesn't want to. And then he eventually gives in and then comes to me so I can wash his backside. And then he's a very good boy like that. He will sit there and, while you're washing him and bathing him. And then it's the drying part that's probably the hardest, because he'll try to run away from that and dry himself, like shaking his fur around. And he looks completely different when he's completely wet, where he doesn't look as fluffy or big, you wouldn't even think. He loves to rub his face on the ground every time he goes, after he finishes having his bath when he's dried up. And it's always fun to see that, he's just really trying to dry his face on the carpets and that. And you just have a good laugh at it.
He sounds like Mac, Leroy, despite the fact that you have to groom him and put a lot of time and effort and energy into him. I'm thinking if there's special shampoos involved or the brushing process. How much time would you put into your doggy on a regular basis?
It really depends. Like, if he's in due for it, being groomed, like if he has a dirty backside, that's probably when I will have my time with him. Like, probably be like an hour, at least half an hour of trying to wash him and brush him, just so he's feeling a bit deadly.
Yeah.
But normally when it comes to the actual bathing and the shampoo, we usually take him to like this like a doggy bath. And then other times we'll take him out to like the local pet shop where they will bath him, and he does not like it. Like, he tries to get out of your hands and he tries to claw at you and he starts digging his little paws into you. And he will turn his back towards the carers that are going to be grooming him and bathing him, where he does not want to look at them. But when he gets groomed, it's probably the best feeling you'd ever feel for his fur. Like, it is so smooth, the way they've done him up, and they offer him like a little treat. They'll also dress him up in a little bow tie when they're finished, and that's how he gets all of these little outfits. And it's very fun. Like, it's a very fun experience knowing to see what goes in with grooming a Pomeranian, and how long it takes, just the time gets away from you when you're bucking around with him. Especially like just brushing him. Like, you just sit there and brush him and you don't realize it's been 30 minutes.
And so it must have been when I met you in Sydney. You came to Sydney because you were learning radio and podcasting, and that's how we met. And you had to relocate from Queensland down to Sydney. How hard was that for you, leaving Mac in Queensland for a year?
See, I struggled for a bit, to tell you the honest truth. Like, knowing that I was so far away from Mac, knowing that I was in a completely different state and he was like thousands of miles away from me, like, it kind of made me a bit sad in a way. Like, I didn't really have that comfort. Like, I didn't have that thing to comfort, to like grab him and like just squeeze him, just to hug him and that, and feel his soft fur. Like, I didn't have any of that. But Mum, she would often video call me and show me his little face and to see what he's doing, and he would always go into my room and wondering where I'm at, because I usually love to play. I always play with him at night times when he has his little zoomies. And Mum doesn't really do that as often. She does play with him, but she doesn't go as hard as how I do it with him.
Yeah.
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 So it was very hard.
You're finally moving back to Queensland from Sydney. You've done your year of study. Congratulations, and well
Thank
done.
you.
Yep, you've done a fantastic job. I'm very proud of you. And you have packed yourself up You're leaving Sydney behind. You get back to Queensland. That first day that you saw Mac, what happened?
I was so excited to see him. Like, as soon as I walked out the airport, I tried to find the car that Mum was in. And then I spotted his little face hanging out the window. And he spotted me, and then he went crazy. Like, he like, the feeling was like he wanted to jump out of the car to jump at me. Like, jump straight into me and give me multiple kisses with his tongue. And, like, I was so happy to see Mac again. Like, the feeling is just too much to put into, like, to describe it, but it's like one of the greatest feelings ever. It's like you always got someone to come back to that's always going to be happy to see you no matter what. And every time when my coming back from Sydney to Brisbane and seeing Mac coming to greet me in the car, it's always the best feelings I've ever had, like, coming home from Sydney. Like, I enjoyed knowing that someone was happy to see me no matter what.
Oh, well, I'm always happy to see you, Leroy. Mac is just such a beautiful little dog, but I'm not surprised because you are a beautiful person and dogs really grow under the love and care of beautiful people. Now that you're back in Queensland, how much hanging out are you or chilling out are you doing with little Mac?
At the moment, he's been hanging around with me a lot because Mum has gone up to Winton for a week, so he's got no choice to hang with me for the full week. But I've set up his to be in the room with me. His little bed, his multiple couches he can sit on, so he can relax. And I tell my sister that no, we can't leave him home if we're going out. He's got to come too. He's the definition of what you call a literal car dog. So whenever he hears those keys jingling, he starts spinning around in circles like 7 times. Like, where we going? Where we going? Am I coming? Like, And to the point of like, you gotta take him. Like, and you can't resist not to. Like, you can't just leave him behind. But there comes the times when he can't come to the shops, especially when dogs aren't really allowed to be in the shops every now and again. And when we come home, he acts like we have been gone for months, even though we've probably been gone for like 5 minutes. And he feels like that we've abandoned him at the strange place. And it's like, why aren't you coming back for me?
What's the best thing about having Mac?
I think the best thing about Mac is just seeing his little personality and just everything that he does. You just can't help but go, oh, like, whether he just happens to be walking or happens to be like just having his little drinks or eating his little food or playing with his buddies. That reminds me, I need to get him a new buddy. But it's just everything about Mac makes everything so special. Just seeing him, like, whether he's playing with his buddies, eating, drinking out of his little bowl, hanging out with my older sister, and it's just everything about him. I just can't. Like, I just love everything about Mac.
And is there anything else that you'd like to add about Mac and what Mac means to you?
I just love Mac as just more than a dog, just more like a companion. Like, I see him as just someone I just want to really look after and care for. Like, and honestly, I've never been big on like that with pets. Like, I've had like a dog probably when I was only a child, and I've never had a pet since. Mum always had a cat, but cats often get into mischief, or they might eventually disappear, run away from home and such. So I never really had that much attachment to any other pets that I had until Mac. So Mac means probably the world to me, just as much as like I'd see my sisters and Mum. Like, I just see him as like part of the family.
I can see why, and he is so lucky that he found you and your mum, or your mum found him and then you stole him from your mum.
Pretty much.
Leroy, thank you so much for sharing your story and Mac's story today. I appreciate it so much and I'm so grateful. And again, I can see why Mac is such a beautiful dog because you are a beautiful person. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
If you have a story to share about the incredible pets or working animals in your life, I'd love to hear from you. Find Who's a Good Human on all the socials. That's Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And you can send me an email at hello@who'sagoodhuman.com.au, or you can look for the website. I can't wait to hear from you and help you share the story of the animal that has touched your heart. My name's Sian Gard. Thanks for listening, and see you next time.